shining moon, balance of the dark and light. Hearken ye, O witches, rune, as we perform our sacred rite. By earth and water, air and fire, by blade and bowl and circle round, we come to you with our desire. Let all that is hidden now be found. With censer, candle, book and sword, and ringing of the altar bell, we tie a knot within our cord to bind our magic in a spell. Mother of the summer fields, goddess of the silver moon, join with us as power builds, dance with us our witches' rune. Father of the summer dew, hunter of the winter snows, with open arms we welcome you, dance with us as power grows. Dance with us our witches' rune. Dance with us our witches' rune. Dance with us our witches' rune. Mother of the summer fields, goddess of the silver moon, join with us as power builds, dance with us our witches' rune. Father of the summer dew, hunter of the winter snows, with open arms we welcome you, dance with us as power grows. Dance with us as witches, dance with us as witches, dance with us as witches' rune. By all the light of moon and sun, by all the might of land and sea, chant the rune and it is done. As we will, so mote it be.
Hello, good morning. Blessings, guys. Good morning. It is High Priestess Jamila. Okay, so, oh yeah, Jen, that would be a lot of fun. Yes, I cannot wait. I actually would love to start traveling more. Um, but we'll save that for a discussion in private. Seriously. Um, I should be traveling more. Um, but there's definitely a reason, and it's not because I don't want to. Trust me. All right. Anyway, so I was talking about magic on my other channel, and I thought I would come on here and Goodness gracious. Is it that somebody doesn't want me talking about this? Let me sit up. So, you know, being a witch and magic is not always about manipulating something or spiritual war. A lot of you guys are, however, at war over your own energy. I'm not even going to lie to you. People out there want to control your energy and everybody else's. This is again a chief complaint for a lot of people. A lot of people. There are some people that have discovered certain things and they love to manipulate people. They love it. They love to control other people's energy. They think for some reason that they have the right to control the lives of others. And that's really a bad relationship to have with witchcraft, especially when you are trying to or attempting to control someone to the capacity of feeling as though you are God somehow and you have the right to bring this hell into this person's life, um, so that you can essentially control their energy. So we talked a lot. We talked a little bit about energy harvesting, energy vampirism. But right now, what I want to talk about to extend that conversation is those of you that are victims of that, those of you that are victims of energy harvesting. Why is it that at least I will follow up with you a couple of times just to kind of follow up, touch base with you after a consultation. Why you'll either get a follow up phone call or either a follow up text message. Okay. Now, at the top of that list is me checking on you to make sure that you're doing okay. Um, and it's because a lot of the things that is being done, a lot of the baneful intentions that are being set when it comes to witchcraft, it can be very dangerous. It can be. It can be very dangerous to your mind, your body, your spirit, your state of mind. If you have been targeted for whatever reason, okay. I've got clients that are in their 20s and 30s and they're displaying symptoms of aging like they're in their 50s and 60s. And that's something that just should not be happening. But it is one of those spiritual anomalies that is happening, to where you'll be in your 30s and 40s needing to get hip replacement surgery and knee replacement surgery. And I guess those things could happen, but it's happening more often. And I can't really get into all of my theories of that happening, at least not on here. But I will tell you that I am not just a witch that does money spells and mojos and stuff like that. I actually provide healing to clients and even nurturing and feeding of my clients. Okay. Feeding your spirit, feeding your chakras. It's not coming from me, it's coming from source, it's coming from the resources and the elements that I use. So it's not just about casting a spell of domination or casting a glamour spell or possessing somebody or things of that nature. A lot of what a lot of us witches is very healing for people. And one of the things that a lot of you guys need healing from is energy harvesting and then spiritual abuse, which sometimes goes hand in hand. So, for example, if we do a reading or a consultation, and it's not that I'm putting those ideas in your head. These are things that you have came to me about and said, "Hey, this is happening and that is happening and this situation is happening." And then I may start asking you questions like, "Hey, are you feeling more tired than usual? Are you feeling depressed? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling distracted? Are you feeling like you can't sleep, but then again, you can't get enough sleep? Are you having these weird, odd symptoms to where you feel disconnected?" Because there's certain situations that can arise that can put you in a situation of being tethered off of. Okay. So I'll ask you those questions. And the reason why those questions are relevant is because those are classic signs of either being cursed, crossed, or either somebody may have cursed or crossed you with an intention of feeding off of you. When that is happening, you start to lose a great deal of your life force. And what can happen is that because I'm with the which really came from my Japanese culture ancestors. I believe in the chakras, okay? And I believe in what they call ki energy or kundalini energy. And I feel that there's a lot of people that like to feed off of that. Okay. They just like to feed off of your kundalini. And so when that is happening, because the kundalini is actually located right at the root chakra, what ends up happening is if your kundalini is being stolen or taken or blocked, what can happen is that that energy does not aerate through the body and it kind of gets stuck like at the base. It'll get stuck. And so that means that the rest of the chakras are suffering, which means that you may have certain symptoms that will start to display in the body. These symptoms will either be diagnosed or undiagnosed if you go to a doctor. Okay. And so that's when a lot of people they really like to do the natural path medicine and things of that nature when it's some kind of symptom or anomaly that's happening that you're having. Phantom symptoms is what I call them. And that's where you're having symptoms of something, but you'll go to the doctor and they won't find what's wrong with you either through blood tests um, or either through X-rays. It's basically unexplained, right? Just like unexplained infertility. And then some women or some people will they will end up eventually being very anemic. Okay. Now I do know that energy harvesting causes anemia. And I hope that nobody flags this because for some reason, and I don't know why, people will falsely flag stuff like with what I'm talking about as far as the symptoms that you may have. But it's not that I'm giving medical information. That's not what I'm doing. A lot of you guys will be very um what's the word that I'm looking for? A lot of you guys will be very sick. You'll be very sick and you won't know what's wrong with you. So it's not medical misinformation, but I think that what ends up happening on YouTube is a way of hating on people, is that people will say, hey, you're not supposed to tell people that that herb will help them with that situation, or you're not supposed to tell people that witchcraft can heal them. It's really weird. It sucks. It's awful that they will tell you that if a doctor can't help you, then there's nobody that can help you. Basically, they're saying, hey, you just need to go somewhere and suffer. And these symptoms, it's all in your head or some shit like that. Hey, sis, it's all in your head or some crazy shit like that. And it's not, because your body can actually start having these phantom symptoms, pains. You'll start getting really, really tired and drained if somebody is energy harvesting from you. So, it kind of pisses me off that it's like that. And I think that that's why I've been heavily targeted. It's almost like people are freaking haters. They do not want you to feel better. It's like if a doctor can't figure it out, then you're not supposed to ever like help yourself, or you're not supposed to, because it just like the story, just like what I was telling y'all the other day, when that man came in my chat and he had some kind of fucking energy on him. I don't know what it was, but all of a sudden, because I got really upset, I got really irritated, and I said something to him, and I had this really weird like circle in my eye, and it was like I could see, it was like trying, it was weird, and I felt it as negativity. It was really, really negative. It was something weird. But what I did was I wrote his name down on a piece of paper and burned it into some black salt, and it just went away just like that. Okay. It did. It went away just like that. And so, when you say things like that, people are like, oh, well, I think you lying. It's like, no, trust me, because if that shit was still in my eye, I would have went to the doctor. Trust me. But it's not. It's been gone, and it's been gone ever since. And then also I felt like just kind of off in my spirit. Like I felt off, like I didn't feel good. And right after I did that, like it went away. So it's like, okay, everybody wants to talk about energy, but nobody actually wants to talk about energy. Nobody actually wants to really talk about nothing. Nobody, it's this weirdness that we have. So, if you, now here's the reason why you'll get a follow up though. The energies and the people that are attacking you, the spiritual energy, the spirits, the herbs that they're using to do that, the intentions that they are setting can be very, very oppressive and abrasive to your spirit. So, for example, there are some of my clients to where they like, oh yeah, you the one, I want my work done. I'm at you right now. And they're like, hey, let's get it popping. But there's some of you guys that are a little bit more oppressed. It's not that you don't believe me. It's not that you guys don't trust me. It's that those energies and spirits are pushing you to not get the help that you need. They are. And then even sometimes when people want to take advantage of you, because I've done it, if I wanted to curse an enemy, I'm going to put all kinds of things into that working to where they can't get no help. Okay, to where if somebody try to help you, but that's mainly, I only do that dark work for people that are like literally bullying and attacking me. You know what I'm saying? Like if you somebody that bully and attack me, I'm trying to fuck you up, and I don't want nobody to be able to help you, because I want you to realize what you're doing is wrong, and I want you to sit back and I want you to reevaluate And I want you to understand that you should not be trying to invade or trespass on me energetically, physically, or any other way. And I think that the way spirit sees it is that it's necessary. People going out and doing some of the stuff that they are doing is unnecessary. It's not necessary to their life, but they will tell themselves that. And that's why you end up getting people that end up feeling, people that are spiritually raping people, people that are violating people, and there, sometimes they may use spirits to do that. There's spirit in everything, though. Even a dried herb, even a dried leaf has spirit in it. Okay, I am very much an animist. Everything holds some kind of spirit, so even if it's not a person conjuring up a spirit to do that work for them, they could be using the spirit of something else. So that intention added with that spirit, what will it do? It will try to beat you into a corner. It will lie to you. It'll let up on you a little bit. This is what I've seen it do. I've had people contact me in full-fledged attack mode. Like they being attacked, they crying, oh my God, this is happening to me. What is going on? And then once they get their reading, what'll end up happening is that during the reading, a lot of those spirits and that intent will back away from you. And it could either be possibly because of my presence or because of the presence of other gods or spirits that spirit is picking up on, or either that energy will know that you've went and sought help. So what it will do, and I call this it's like a phantom phase to where everything will go away. It'll be almost like, oh, well, I'm fine now. I got a reading and the situation is done. No, what that spirit is doing is tricking you. What that energy is doing is tricking you, and it's trying to convince you that, oh, I'm not really here. I'm not really doing this to you. But basically, what it's doing is it's backing up off of you for just a little while, waiting to bring back the attack, and it'll be worse sometimes. So it's really, I don't advise my clients to wait until, oh my God, something else is happening. Oh my God, I feel some type of way. See, in that, and you know what, let's call it the phantom phase, but let's also call it the glory time. It's almost like things seem to go back to normal because that spirit knows that you know that it's there. That energy knows that you know that it's there and that it's harming you, and it will back off of you in an attempt to trick you. But what it's doing is it is laying in waiting. It is actually not stopped. We're not talking about a person. We're talking about spirit. A person can contemplate that way as well. But if that person doesn't actually, like you see people all the time attempting to make some kind of spirit contact with another person that they're trying to do harm to, but it's not going to work if you have your wards going, or if you have some kind, or if you're aware of it. So basically, when you come and get a consultation, this is what will happen. You'll see and recognize everything is accurate in the reading, because I'll be able to tell you stuff that I could never know. How do I know that you're constipated? I can't. What am I, inside of your body? Even though I can see certain things like that, but I don't invade people's bodies like that. My spirits will just tell me. I don't have to go inside of you to know what's going on. So how did I know that you had a crying fit, or that you crying all the time? How do I know that you can't sleep? How do I know that you can't eat? These are not things that I'm guessing. These are things that I know. How do I know that your chest feels tight? How do I know that your back is hurting? The reason why I know that is because I can sense it. It's a part of my sixth sense. And so and I just know it. Either I'll read it through the cards and I'll just sense it. So that's how people know that a person is real. You don't necessarily have to see the cards. If I'm sitting here telling you everything, and I'm telling you stuff that happened to you in, specifically in the month of March, how did I know that? Am I following you around? Nope. How do I know that that's happening? That is a part of what you're going through. It's because nobody's bullshitting with you, right? So when we do that reading and we make that initial contact, that spirit and that energy, and even sometimes your enemies will be watching you. They'll be watching and monitoring your readings sometimes. And so what it'll do is it will back off of you in order for you to not get the help that you need. Okay? But then it will attack again after that. Okay, that's just like some of y'all, the energy is so bad that I have to literally do the exorcism incantation while I have you during your reading, because it'll be so bad. It'll be like to the point where it'll make me feel sick. Like I'll be like, oh my God, we need to do a prayer. That's only half of the work, but it'll work temporarily to get that off of you, because some of y'all, it ain't necessarily feeding off of you. It may just be attacking you. So the reason why you'll get a follow-up call is because I can sense what's happening, and what it'll do is it will oppress you. It will try to suppress you coming to get for you to get the help that you need. Especially a lot of you guys will be like, well, I need to wait till I get paid, and that's pretty normal. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty normal. That's pretty standard. A lot of you guys will be like, well, I got to wait a couple of weeks till I get paid. And that's fine. And so um, when I am following up with you, I'm not bugging you and I'm not begging. No, I know exactly what that spirit is doing. And sometimes these spirits are so slick, and I've seen them in people. Like I've literally, y'all, you can't make this shit up. Listen, people that I was helping, like, and they knew I was helping them, right? They knew it. I mean, because is it a fucking coincidence that you had all these issues before I started helping you? And then all of a sudden you did not have those issues after I started helping you. I have seen bad spirits in people that will try to make me the bad guy. Like I've witnessed it. It's happened publicly. People that I've helped. And there will be people that will have these spirits in them that will just be convinced, trying to, and actually convince, well, it's only one person, but will actually be convincing them that I did something wrong because I helped them. And it's people like that that are actually weak minded enough to believe that. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Even though she did this spell for me, that working for me, I know that good things started happening for me. And well, it was, and yeah, it was a coincidence. She was actually just trying to use me. What? Like I've seen those spirits manifest in people, and people trying to convince people. Same thing with bad spirits. Oh, don't trust her, don't go to her. She's not gonna really help you. It'll be in your ear, it'll be almost like a bug in your ear. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I've actually had some people that will attack my clients, or they'll try to attack the people in my chat room. It's totally freaking, it's thirsty. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. But yeah, they will do that. Especially some people, if they think that they're a certain race, on both sides of the coin. Sometimes it'll be, and it's totally ridiculous. But yeah. Yep. So, and it's kind of like, hey, I don't have time to stay stuck on begging people to believe in the work that I do. I don't have time to do that. I don't. So I don't say anything, but I've seen people. like people that I literally helped off of the streets, people literally that were like the initial consultation. I remember everybody that I do an initial consultation for. I remember everybody. You told me on the phone that you're wandering and you're drifting and you're wandering aimlessly and you have nowhere to go and you don't feel right. And I'll help them and I'll help them find their north. And then some other evil person will convince them, oh no, she was hurting you. Same thing with negative bad spirits. What they will do after that consultation is they will let up on you, even be nice to you, but they're tricking you. So that's why I follow up, because things like crying, those things can be very cleansing and healing. But if you're crying at the same time and you're experiencing hopelessness, you're experiencing to where you don't feel well, or you feel very withdrawn, that means that that spirit is oppressing you. And so I will sense it and I will follow up. And a lot of you guys are experiencing that. It doesn't have to be all day that you're experiencing that, but at certain times of the day, you'll feel very oppressed, and that spirit will kind of like try to drift you away from getting help so that it can set you up for another takedown at a later date. And I've seen that happen. People have followed up with me and said, I felt better after the initial consultation, of course. But if you don't actually follow up and get the work done, it's not me doing it. It's this stuff was already attached to you before you came to me, right? That which is why you came to me. Okay. So yeah, you right, one EQ. You're right. You're right about that. Some do know and just want to stay oppressed and sick. You're right about that. But what it will do is it's almost like, how like when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, what a narcissistic person will do is they will build you up and build you up and build you up, and then bam, bring you down. And then you'll start feeling that energy harvesting. That's when they're feeding their supply. It's so weird. It's very demonic. It's very evil. I was thinking about this the other day when I was looking through YouTube at some of my favorite family vloggers, and they've got young kids. And I was thinking back when my children were like 5 months old, 6 months old, or even 3 years old, and how I felt like how I feel literally. Y'all want to know how I feel? I felt like something evil and sinister kind of sort of fills us up, fattens us up with all this hope, and gives us all of this stuff. And even sometimes the people around you, they're doting over your babies, and then once the children got older, this is when the evil eye came out of those people. It's so weird. Have you noticed that? Like, it's like, oh, that's so sweet, and families will be doting over the children. Now, some people don't change, but some of y'all literally got those changeling type of people around you, to the point where, they'll be one way, but then 10 years later, it's like, goodness gracious, what happened to you? What did I do to you? So it's so weird how that happens. But yeah, that's why I follow up with you guys, because sometimes you guys will literally be crying in a corner. You'll be like, fuck it. You're either somewhere between experiencing a false happiness, or you will be kind of stuck in the corner, sometimes suicidal, sometimes homicidal. very angry, you're withdrawn, you don't want to talk about it, you're feeling like fuck this world. You're literally going through a wide range of emotions. And what that does is it will separate you between your lifeline with me. And so what I'll do is I'll follow up and say, hey, how are you doing? That follow up for some of you guys is very important because it will help you snap out of that. And so a lot of people will um sort of kind of see that I can't really talk about like medical stuff because a lot of the times, people are listening and watching and they want everybody to be taking a damn pill. It's like they're lobbyists for the pharmaceutical companies or some shit. Anyway, basically, you'll be going through highs and lows during that time, or you'll be feeling really, really low and oppressed, or you'll be feeling really, really high, right? And so that's why you'll get the follow up. You'll get the follow up because I'm basically reminding you, like, hey, and so it's very strange because a lot of people will make excuses for negative attachments. I've seen it. I had this one client, I went through so many ups and downs with her. We're still best friends. And she had a husband attachment, which is really interesting. A spirit husband that was not serving her purpose whatsoever, was very abusive. She would wake up with bruises and scars. Very weird. Okay. And it was a very negative spirit. And so I had been working with her on that situation, and things definitely improved very quickly. But then the goddamn spirit kept coming back. It did. And this was before I realized that there are certain portals that need to be shut down. And it's not like I wasn't doing it before in my practice. It's just that I think that spirit wants us to know more of what is actually happening through that process. So it was like wide open. It was like a wide open portal. And it kept coming back, especially during Mercury retrograde, right? Because during Mercury retrograde, Mercury is traveling backwards, and that's why a lot of people are dealing with past life regressions. In fact, Mercury retrograde is directly connected to your past lives. That's why if you were born with Mercury in retrograde, you probably got some sicknesses and stuff. Okay, or either a lowered immune system. It's very weird. So this client, it was one point that, it came back and it was so strong. And, she was just like, she didn't say it straight up, but it was almost like she was saying, are you doing this to me? Right. But she didn't say it straight up. And a lot of people get caught up in that trap. Right. So I had to let her know, um, we need to do more work. You know what I'm saying? And, it was because cleanses will do that too. And it was like a year later, it had came back, and then sometimes you can unintentionally invite spirit husbands in as well. So, and that was what was happening with her. It was like she kept inviting, she kept opening up the doorway for that bad spirit to come in as well. And so sometimes that can happen. But where was I going with this? Basically, what ended up happening is that, me and the client, we pretty much we developed an understanding with one another with as far as what was going on. And we did discover that she was sort of like holding on to that. And then also, that's when I made a lot of discoveries about Mercury retrograde and why Mercury retrograde can bring up past life regressions, as well as spirits can travel to you during that time. And I don't know what it is. It's some kind of portal or some crap that gets opened. And it's yeah. So she kept kind of opening up the door for that spirit to come in too. And so you know I ended up we ended up working on that, and we ended up coming to a resolution as far as like making sure that that spirit was not allowed back in. So we had to basically close the door to that negative spirit. Okay. And she wasn't having big issues with a bunch of people attacking her and no shit like that. It was literally a spirit that, and a lot of you guys can have that too. A lot of you guys can have that. In fact, I've seen people that do have past lives that feel as though if you start talking about past life regressions, they feel very nervous about talking about it because they feel like people are going to say that you're crazy. Okay. So a lot of it is fear of judgment, which is why people don't talk about that openly, or they shy away from the subject of past lives altogether, which y'all all know that a lot of these karmics that go on the attack usually has a lot to do with their past life karmic energy, and they'll be blaming it on you. Okay. So sometimes, like when you throw the cards on somebody that's attacking you, I'll see all these spirits and energies attacking them, and it'll be on them, but they'll be completely unaware. It's like they'll be completely unaware, and they'll be blaming you for those attacks that they're getting. And so that's why people stay wrapped up in spiritual war. Oh, you sent me this and I sent me that. It's like, did you ever consider that maybe you're dealing with your own karma from a past life? Yeah. So that can happen too. But some of the things, like for example, uh if you have someone that's energy harvesting or energy vamping off of you, um what they do is they oppress you. They make you think that you're crazy. That's the first thing that people do when they're trying to feed. This is crazy making. And people will do that. People will try to make you feel like you're crazy because they want to try to take advantage of you. You just have to not give a shit about what people think. People can think all kinds of stuff. When you're doing this kind of work and it's working for you, then why even question it if it's working? And people will look at the things that you're doing that work for you, and they'll try to say, oh, that doesn't work for you, you're crazy. you know all that stuff is hocus pocus and you're crazy. But in reality, it's not crazy. It's okay for those people to either not believe in it, but when people know about it, they know all of these secrets. They just want you to either not know, or they want you to be negatively affected by whatever it is. They don't want you to have that release. They don't want you to be free from that. They don't want you to be liberated from that. Because there's some people in this world, they just like to see other people down and out. They don't like to see people up and, cheerful. They don't. So, but that's why you'll get that follow up, because I know for a fact that there's energy suppressing you. And then, of course, I call them animes. I do have animes that will attempt to tap in and monitor. And yeah, that's another thing that I forgot to mention when I was talking about people in social media that are smart dumb, is that these people will try to tap into your clients and attack them. They'll try to psychic attack them. People that, again, I love my psychics, but then again, the ones that do crap like that, they get on my nerves. So they'll try to access people's minds. I've actually seen somebody that was literally trying to watch every one of my clients and was trying to manipulate their mind, because to them, that was them beating me at some freaking spiritual war, which, so there's actually people out here with real gifts that to me are still scammers. Because what in the hell are you doing watching other people's clients? That's so silly to me, but I've seen people do it because, they look at everything about money and currency, and they figure, if I can tap into this person's business, I want to watch their business. I want to manipulate their business. I want to manipulate what people are thinking, or how people feel. And it just seems very stupid to me when you could literally be helping people. I never did understand that people that are out there using spiritual gifts to hinder people, but I guess it is what it is. Okay. When you have an opportunity to be of a great service to people, but you choose to be on the attack, and it's ridiculous and it's stupid, but that's just, but your enemies that you have personal to you, they will attempt to monitor you. They will attempt to manipulate you because they want you to be in a certain frame of mind. Okay, like for example, they'll watch you at work. They'll watch it, they'll spiritually watch your family members. They'll try to manipulate the people around you so that they can attempt to manipulate you. So people will go through, and spirits that are acting alone, they will go through the people around you to get the result that they want. Again, to me, that's very stupid. And I don't think that God actually likes ugly, but whatever. Okay. So that's what the follow-ups are about. Okay. And you know, it's something to where my spirits will tell me, they'll say, you need to follow up with this person because this person is being attacked. Okay, this person is being oppressed. The scary part about it is that it does take a certain amount of possession for people to do black magic on you or baneful magic. It does take some kind of possession for them to do whatever they want to do. But a lot of people don't know that, because when we look at possession, all we really know about possession is movies. We don't really know what possession looks like. It has many different faces. Possession has many different faces, you know? And so that's why there's some people in this world that, when it comes to just daily life. That's why I tell people I'm not a life coach. I'm a spiritual coach, but I'm definitely not a life coach, right? Because technically you shouldn't need a life coach, but it is what it is, okay? Um, so when I follow up with you guys, it's not about the money, it's about helping you. It's about, making sure that you understand that even though you may be feeling better right now, you still need to actually do the work. In fact, a lot of people wait until things are really bad before they do anything, even though they know that the spiritual problem exists and that it's there. And you should never wait until the last minute, until things are bad. And, and then, you either can't really go into it the way that you want to. um it just is not good. If you recognize a spiritual problem, you should handle it when you're feeling good. You shouldn't wait until you feel sick and tired. You should handle it now while you're up, because if you try to do that while you're down, you have less strength. And so a lot of people are essentially getting spiritual work as the last resort, when the spiritual work should have been the first thing that you did. And I do handle emergencies. I handle spiritual emergencies for people, because what, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's when there's a spiritual problem there, it's laying and it's waiting, and you're fooled into thinking, well, it's all over, but then it pops back up. And when it pops back up, it takes you by surprise. And, it'll be very overwhelming. You see what I'm saying? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So some of y'all, instead of, doing the work, you guys will temporarily sort of being duped into thinking, no, everything's okay. It'll even manipulate your readings too. That's why I always tell people readings are good. Divinating is great. I typically, when I'm doing my divination, it's my communication with my spirit guides. It's not necessarily making a prediction, because predictions can always change. Predicted outcomes can always change in a reading. So that's why I said, psychic insight or seeing something is not necessarily manifesting in reality. It's just you saw something. But then in reality, you still have that issue. You know what I'm saying? Or if something good that's supposed to happen changes and doesn't happen, why is that happening? Why is it that your projected reading was different than what the actual outcome was? Because readings can change. The outcome can change, and it does quite often. It does. It happens a lot, especially with people out there um, looking at your Akashic records, watching you, monitoring you, being weirdness. Still don't understand why that's happening. I don't think it has any place in the spiritual community, but people are still doing it. And so the reason why that is happening is because people either want to steal or mess something up. Okay. Or either it's something that they want to take from you, or, or it's something that, they want to pervert and mess up. Okay. So that's why I'll do a follow-up call to you, or either a text message. And a lot of you guys that are heavily under attack, at the time that I'm texting you, you're going through a lot and you're dealing with a lot, and it's very overwhelming. And a lot of you guys will kind of you're used to when you're going through something, you're used to dealing with it on your own, and that is the truth. But if we've recognized a spiritual problem that you're having, it's okay for you to go ahead and reach out to me. Same thing. After I do readings for people, it's okay for you to reach out to me, because I would rather you reach out than to, feel like, oh, I don't want to bother this person. I don't want to be bug this person. When in reality, it's kind of my job. It's what I do for a living. And, it's a part of my spiritual path. Okay. All right, guys, that's what I wanted to talk about. Um, so, I don't know why people always try to make it about the money. Yes, I do this for a living. Yes, I do need to get paid for doing it. No, it's not free. Um, but that would go for anything. You don't expect somebody to go to work and work for free. Nobody is going to go and work for free, right? So, but if it was about the money, I'd be selling real estate right now in the state of Georgia. I'd be a realtor. If it was all about getting rich, or if it was about that for me, I wouldn't have chosen necessarily this path. I mean, I would still be practicing, but I would be using my knowledge to get ahead in the real estate industry, right? So it ain't just about the money. That's why you got to be careful listening to certain people. Um, Misery loves company, straight up and down, you know? And if a person is miserable and they don't know how to not be miserable, when they see that you're doing something that is giving you true, genuine happiness, they're going to try to spoil it for you. Okay. And let's keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I am tooting my own horn, but my cleanses are pretty amazing. I have heard that there are people out there that are trying to copy the way that I do cleanses and stuff. They are pretty phenomenal, world rewound, or whatever the hell you call it, renowned, not rewound, renowned. So the cleanses are really, really good. And you know, and so when people, sometimes if you tell somebody, hey, I just had a spiritual cleanse, what do they do? I've noticed it every single time I have just kind of candidly mentioned that I was doing a cleanse on myself, people started trying to throw shit at me every single time. And that's in social media, not in my real life. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But people in social media, if I say I just did a cleanse on myself, they will start trying to throw shit at me. It's so weird. It's like, goodness gracious. Okay. And so anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. Stop listening to people in social media, because sometimes people in social media, they hate just for the hell of it. That's why I usually, like, I can see them. Like when I make my announcements about my circles, my Sabbats, um, publicly, there's some sour pusses out there that are mad because they can't be included. And, they're usually on the attack. I already know that as soon as I open up my Yule circle to the public, people are going to start their shit again. People are going to start spreading rumors. Why? Because they're mad because they can't be a part of that. Did it ever occur to them to kind of just go and do their own thing? possibly, but people get upset. And so that's why I haven't really announced my Yule circle yet. Okay, because people, it's kind of a sore spot for some people that that I am not allowing in my groups anymore, in my circles anymore. So, hmm anyway, all right, guys, that's pretty much. I'm sorry, I'm twisting my hair up. I've had it in these two Afro puffs for weeks, and I decided to go ahead and twist it up. So that's what I'm doing right now. So anyway, that's what I wanted to tell you guys. I will see you guys later. Okay. Also, by the way, listen. It's the energy is so freaking predictable. People have already been trying to distract you from 11/11 with some bullshit, with some drama, just putting the drama and the chaos and the confusion out there in the air. Yep, pretty much is what they're already doing. When in reality, my circle, we're pretty much just kind of chilling and kicked back in reality, you know. And so I just had somebody just recently do that. The person that stopped by my house, that person's intention was to distract away from 11/11. But in reality, that person ain't distracted away from nothing. Because I always stay on point regardless. I don't have that kind of mind. I mean, the day that it happened, I spoke about it. But that's because I was also doing work and I was discussing it because I want you guys to know just how disgusting these people are. Right? It has to be discussed and it has to be talked about. Literally, as soon as I started talking about the 11/11, as we drew closer to it, people were literally doing all kinds of stuff. Hey, look at me, don't look at that. Look at me, look at me. Look at what's going on over here. A bunch of drama to automatically distract you away from 11/11. And it is more powerful to do it on 11/11. It is. If you're not able to, don't feel bad because you can do it within 90 days before and 90 days after. Okay. So it's all good. And preferably sometime during the month of October. Because I started talking about 11/11. I started talking about that, I believe, the end of September. And all of a sudden, it was a bunch of drama that broke out because they wanted to distract you from it, pretty much. Oh, no, no, no. Don't do 11/11. Don't improve your life. Don't empower yourself. Come look at this silly shit. Come look at me act like a monkey. Come look at me act like an idiot. And you know what it reminds me of? Oh my God, sis. Have you ever seen that movie, The Labyrinth? This is a good example of what I'm talking about. Do y'all remember in the movie The Labyrinth when she was looking for her brother and Jared made her lose her memory and she ended up back in her room uh, with some troll looking lady. And she was like, oh, look, here's your dolls. Oh, look, here's your music box. Yeah, well, you got to see that movie, sis. You do. We're going to have to get together and watch that one day and have wine and shits. Um, but it's a scene in that movie to where she got thrown off her path because Jared, um, he sprinkled some kind of dust on her or something, and she lost her memory, and she ended up back in this like fake room. And the lady was like all up in her face trying to distract her. And, she was like, wait a minute, I was looking for something. I was doing something important. And she was like, no, don't worry about that. Look at this. Here's your dolls. Here's your this. And you like this stuffed animal, don't you? And she was like, oh, wait a minute. That's what it was. She was like, this stuff is not real. I'm looking for my little brother because basically and he passed away. I don't know why I can sometimes forget names, but he actually passed away. But Jared, his name was Jared in the movie. Okay. And he basically kidnapped her brother. And so she had to go to the Goblin City to find her brother, basically. And so it's a scene it's the same exact thing though. It's the same exact thing, when you are, when you're on your life's mission of yourself, people will try to distract you just like that. Oh, no, no, no. Well, what about when you got beat up 10 years ago? Oh, no, no, no. Well, what about this? Let's argue about something. No, I'm not. I'm focused. I'm focused. And that's why those people, they haven't manifested the life that they want. No, they haven't. They can claim that they have, but they haven't. They're very unfulfilled. And, they probably are trying to get it through witchcraft, but they're doing it through very weak forms of magic. But, um, and so they want to distract others. Like people know, they knew last month that 11/11 ritual was very powerful. They knew it. They knew it when I first initially announced it. They went into overdrive, literally. Okay. They went into overdrive with their bull crap. You have to be able to separate the BS from the real. And especially when you're doing certain things, you ever be doing certain things or working towards manifesting certain goals in your life that don't affect or harm anybody else? And people in your family will bring up stuff from when y'all was 5 years old. You ever have that happen? You're literally getting ready to have a thought process or maybe even a message that's going to come in through spirit, and this person is calling your phone talking about something else. Mhm. So, yeah, that part right there, it happens. Okay. And for some reason, I don't know if it's that negative spirits are using that person or if that person just has an intention on distracting you. Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to sit here and finish twisting my hair, and I will talk to y'all later. All right. Blessings. Bye.